Welcome back everyone, my name is Eltimar and we're going to be continuing our Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Where we left off last time, we just got back to our camp, or we just, I guess, arrived in our camp. We have a little bit of wisdom drain, it's not a big deal, we're fine. We're taking Irabeth around to the camp to go talk to some people. Largely, I don't think there's too many people we have to actually talk to, but we have to do Darren's little thing here. Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker you. Darren flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you'll depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, circle vainly to fall asleep amid snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I've just rented a sailboat in the south. I've also hired an excellent chef, and a host of other entertainments. Well, to each their own, I suppose. Darren pauses, then suddenly adds in a more serious voice. You know, I'm genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see, but you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together, but of course, Darren grimaces, not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have at each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. If you feel you don't belong here, go. But I'd like to see you again someday in the future, to get to know you better. You can throw a banquet for me to celebrate our victory in Dresden. What do you say? Victory in Dresden. Your optimism is so charming, Darren smirks, and then seems to start slightly. He continues in a more even tone. Well, should you prove lucky enough to survive by some miracle, come and find me. Perhaps I shall even remember you. No promises, though. In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying, and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes, it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or, if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Darren smirks before instantly losing all interest in you, or at least he pretends to. Darren is gonna go? That's fine, he can do that. We're gonna talk to Gretlin and all the people here. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. Good day, good afternoon to you, Commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next-door theater company, the one you saved in Canabras back when you weren't your Commanderness net yet. Ugh. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs, but we don't care what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find people to play the hordes of demons, and we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kim. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned village. The glum and husky half-orc mumbles softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. That is just kind of mean. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the great Knight Commander. We had to write Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have two candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. I'm to be played by a gnome? Not a gnome. Two gnomes. Rubbledum and Hierophant are twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulders and puts on a long coat so they can play tall characters. They switch places every so often, so each gets their moment of fame. And that way, they each only have to learn half the script. A Cyclops actor? He's completely tame, believe me. He has a few issues with articulation. Who doesn't? But what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make short, heroic exclamations at a faithful moment like, onward, or we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. Alright, I made my decision then. The crew looks at you holding their breath. I will be played by Lambkin the Cyclops. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots, and then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now.
Watch out for trouble.
Alright, well, we have that going on now. Land's here and some other people. We're just gonna go wander around a little bit. We gotta find Sela. I think she's over here somewhere. There she is. A group of soldiers is talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire. There's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail. Once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. So what'd you do? What'd I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know, so they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword, and they spot me, so I jump over the fire wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and grab my sword. And I yell in my big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them, and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. And ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Sela takes a sip from the flask. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping, leave some for us. We've only just set off and you're already drinking? And with the queen in the camp? Stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Sela raises the flask and says loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tierbade. We are but drinking to the queen's health." "Give me a sip too, to her majesty's health." Irbeth rubs her forehead with the palm of her hand. "Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers?" "Never mind, it's your business." That was chaotic, by the way. Anyways, who else do we have to talk to? We have to go meet more people, apparently. There's also a bunch of, like, weapons and things we can pick up around the camp that we can just sell immediately. But, yeah, we're gonna have to grab them all. Make kidnappers be damned. It's a little letter saying that, an anonymous pamphlet. People who want to, like, ruin the city. It's already ruined, so really they don't really have much to do about it, but...
Keep your calm.
How did we make that perception check? We have garbage perception. Does it use our group's perception, maybe, when we're wandering around camp? It must. The modifier's 13. It's lands, yeah. Okay. I was like, there's no way our main character made that perception check. I'm just gonna steal the entire army's weaponry. We found the campsite of the Knabrous Knights, which is right here. They're just all hanging out, doing Knabrous Knight things. So as you can see, we did the one. We need to find the Knights from Nerosian. But mostly we're just wandering around and grabbing loot. We'll find the camps as we go get the loot. There's a lot of it. It's not worth very much, but it's worth a little bit, and that's the important thing. Let's go stop by here. I think this is one of the camps. Maybe it's not. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. Oh, there was a loot there I could have grabbed. At least some of these items are masterwork items. Not all of them, though, mind you. There's a latrine with earth. I like how they summon earth elementals to dig a trench. Slash maybe a latrine. Actually, it looks more like a ditch for a defensive perimeter, but it could still also be a latrine.
Watch out for trouble.
Alright, let's go find all these people. There's the Eagle Watch commander. Who else do we have? We need... Oh, that's right, that was the Nerosian commander. Now we go find other people. Wait, where's Irbeth gone? There she is. Come back here, Irbeth. We got more people to talk to. I thought this was one of them. Did we already do these guys? We must have already done this banner. Where's the next banner on our list? That is a banner. Is that the... Which knights are these? These are the Eagle Watch Knights. Okay, we got them. And then we're supposed to talk to the Army Quartermaster, who is, I think, over here somewhere. Wilker Garms. The burly soldier with an impressive beard greets you with a broad smile. Wilker Garms, the camp quartermaster at your service. How may I be of help? Show me what you got. Show me what you're working with. Let's go price in descending order. Let's see what we got. Wide sweep is what we're buying here. So whenever this +2 scythe lands a hit, it deals its weapon damage to all adjacent enemies. It costs $30,000. It is absolutely 100% worth it, and we are buying it this very second as part of the build that we're doing. We're going to grab and just sell all these trash items. I'm not sure why they weren't put into the thing, but whatever. And we'll leave all the magical things for now. We are still paying them a good chunk of money We're now a little bit more wide sweep. We now plus 13, plus 8 to hit, and look at that. It's got like runes on its blade. It looks really cool. Really, really cool looking weapon, gotta say. But now we don't have Finian, which is fine, because we're gonna go here to Sela. Sela's using Radiance, and Radiance is a fine weapon. There's nothing wrong with Radiance. It just isn't good yet. Radiance will be much better in the future, but let's just give her a Finian longsword for now. It'll help her out a little. And, yeah. There we go. She's using Finian, the talking weapon. It's got Ghost Touch. It's pretty good. We're going to have to level up Camellia and Lan at some point in time, because we're going to be probably using them when we reach the Lost Chapel. Anyways, I think that's everyone we needed to talk to, so let's go talk to the Queen. We also got our weapon that we wanted, so... I never remember where the tents are in this stupid camp. If I was the command tent, where would I be? There, this looks the right way. There we go, there it is. I am not insane, I promise. Speaking of insane though, I watched Arcane, the League of Legends show. Don't play League of Legends, don't particularly like the game, but the game is nothing like the show. I loved the show. It was so good. Would 10 out of 10 recommend watching it. It is a really good show. Anyways, let's talk to the Queen. We can talk to these people too. Leader Hawkblade, my respects, Commander. I hope you'll be able to spare some time after the formalities. Happy to help the cause, Commander. She's a traitor. Good to meet you, Commander. Soziel is a cleric, and he's moderate at best. The Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air with which she just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds.
She quickly gets to the point.
I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation.
This is important.
A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
The Queen nods to the human man and the young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomade also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Okay, I can get to that. Continue. Did the game just freeze?
Hi!
There we go.
Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
When we met at the Defender's Heart, I never imagined you'd make me the commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme, and beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it.
The Queen allows herself a smile.
However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course, I shall answer.
How did they manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Staunton Vane, I saw him at the Great Garrison. He defected to the demon's side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting.
Gelfrey frowns.
I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
You should have exiled him. Let him go wherever he wanted. That way he would have either changed his life for the better or realized he had no one to blame but himself.
Perhaps exile would have been a more merciful sentence than decades of service among those who despised him. I was hoping he might atone for his guilt with a heroic act, but he likely decided that atonement was impossible, and he might as well give himself over to evil.
What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened.
We also missed the Queen nodding in approval and then frowning.
The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold. The very threshold of the Abyss.
I have no more questions.
Wonderful.
Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual Celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
A furrow forms in the queen's brow.
Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomede. It was a deed worthy of a knight commander of the Fifth Crusade.
The queen subtly inclines her head in a solemn acknowledgement of your service. You should know that I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Kenabris. In a vision I saw the death of an angel called Lariel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the World Wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on their special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
A smile kind and sad crosses the queen's face. I can read, I promise. And what are you gonna do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
I'm gonna bring her along. We're not gonna be doing the, swarm thing anyways, so... My queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the crusade, and the blessing of Iomede that you carry may be decisive in this battle.
I hear. A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign?
The queen flashes something of a slightly astonished smile.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
Gelfrey chuckles. The task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
The queen gives you an impish wink.
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
The Queen makes a stately gesture in our direction.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
Darren's cool expression wavers, but he seems not to be fully cognizant of what is happening. That or he's holding himself tightly in check. What a wonderful gesture, Your Majesty. I imagine our dear Count would have been inconsolable if you hadn't given him a chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander.
The Queen bestows a smile on us, then brings her gaze to rest on Darren once more.
I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
The Count offers a bow either as a sign of respect or in order to hide his flushed face. Only the barest quaver can be heard in his voice.
Then let's get going. May Ayomade help us.
Alright, we have finally gotten through all of the conversation. That was most of our video. We're going to do a couple small things before we head out. But largely, we're pretty much done. We're going to stop by a few people. These are things you should do before leaving your camp, obviously. First, stop by Irbeth. She's going to say, Commander, allow me to say something. Irbeth looks even more serious than usual. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony drawn out over the decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but somehow I got through on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Nevia's body, she might by some miracle have survived. And that miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I'd nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned defeat into victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you made everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that. I didn't. It took hours of save scumming, but that's fine. She says with a snap of her fingers. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me they're just more proof of what I felt on that day when I saw Nevia alive sitting next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war. And in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. I need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? First of all. Irbeth frowns. When we began the march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they simply won't arrive in time. We could pay mages to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt our army's coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 gold, I'll see to the reinforcements. Do it. I found a scabbard with your family name on it in the Great Garrison. This scabbard held the solemn hour, my family's sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Nevia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I am sure he would have given up everything to save the family. Irbeth looks down. I hope to redeem the solemn hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. You had the Order's coffers at your disposal. How can you even suggest that? Irbeth lovingly traces the name imprinted on the silver on the scabbard's leather. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or coat of arms. Still, however, humble as our name might be, it was worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see Solemn Hour again, but at least have its scabbard back. Thank you. So it turns out the Queen has her head of counterintelligence watching me. Wonder why? You think the Queen doesn't trust you? If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of this army. My main task is to be your advisor until you've gained enough experience as a commander. As for counterintelligence, Nevia and I were tasked with keeping an eye on your inner circle, but you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. It's hard to believe your origins so humble. You deserve a noble title more than many who inherit them. Erebeth's cheeks blush a little. Thank you, Commander. It's an honor to hear that, especially from you. Every noble begins somewhere. You must have heard the recent stories from the Stolen Lands and the River Kingdoms. Just imagine coming from nowhere and making it all the way to a royal crown in just a few years. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I managed to distinguish myself somehow, but then I push away such unworthy, selfish thoughts, of course. We don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake, and yet... She blushes and falls silent. Gotta go. So those are the things you want to do with Erebeth. Now that we have that all done, we are very poor. We have $7,000 left. We are just so poor. Let's go talk to Kyrieru, I guess. Kyrieru nods approvingly. You've earned the title of Commander. Canapris still stands thanks to you, but you have to be doubly on guard. Your Eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-ranking Crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinner of Nightmares attempts on the lives of influential Crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. Just gonna... We don't need to worry too much about this. It's not important at the moment. Alright, let's go. We'll do the Spinner of Nightmares stuff later. We need to talk to... There's one more person we need to talk to. No, right,
Keep your
Leoder.
calm.
Gotta go find him. He's over this way. I think, yeah. He's right here. Leoder Hawkblade. Commander, a tall man with piercing yellow-green eyes gives you a brief nod. Let me personally congratulate you on your new title, and thank you for your time in advance. I am Leoder Hawkblade, an Inquisitor with the Church of Iamade, the Bringer of Light. I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, young Count Darren Arenday. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Iamade in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the Crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to, but please allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. The Inquisitor's open face instantly reveals his feelings. He frowns and looks through you, lost in his thoughts for a moment. I suppose you've already heard about Count Arenday's story. I refer to the tragedy at the Heaven's Estate. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to investigate the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev. Mendev before the world wound, and yet on that day it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send Canabras for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off when we got to the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate, who are said to be immune to any disease? If the demons had found their way to penetrate the holy warrior's defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You are the only person who can help me here, Commander, because the only living witness to those events is currently serving in your party, or in your army. Your army's route will take you near the site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned, sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has the power to break the seal. He's unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside, and in any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family's seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he'll be obliged to fulfill it, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, and myriad loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which one of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid, the kind Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity, and that is why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. Fine, I'll help you. What do you need me to do? Leoder bows his head with an exceptional reverence. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask you to speak with the Count and tell him that you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I'll also require your help during the investigation. You will have to follow me, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. I will remain here for a while. I'm just going to go through them all. It's just a little bit of lore. It's not super duper important. Mostly just like the investigation before. They found nothing really of value, and now he's hoping to get more information. And he will. There's a really cool event that happens around Heaven's Edge. Sort of like the whole Darren-related storyline. But, yeah. That is going to be pretty much it for this video. We have a couple more people to talk to in the next video. We have to talk to Soziel. Actually, maybe we can do that right now. Does he do his thing yet?
Again. I'm very pleased to meet you.
A young
Thank
cleric.
you for taking the time to talk to me.
A young cleric stands before an easel, his brush hovering over the canvas without touching it. Instead of painting, the young man absent-mindedly gazes at the sky of Canaveras, which is still streaked with towering plumes of black smoke. Finally, he notices you and smiles, shaking off his stupor.
It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
You wanted to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabras behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
I'm just gonna burn through the rest of his
I have no doubt that we will...
stuff.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. You're right. Now it's my... Perhaps I went to... You
Okay, there we go. We just wanted to meet him. We got his quest. That's the important part. And Darren, we're going to talk to him really quickly. I'd love to pay a visit to Heaven's Edge and see the Arendaid State one day. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, now that I'm in the middle of this whole crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darren seems to have trouble getting the words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my superior, and I'm your advisor, I'm obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities, and I want to invite you, too. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Alright, deal. Perfect, you have a ball. You'll have a ball, I'll make sure of it. I should go... Actually, we'll just go through the rest of his conversation stuff. And all these things... Alright. No more questions. Alright. Oh man, he's got lots of conversation stuff. We go through all of it in the other playthrough. It's not ultra important. I just want to make sure there's no experience ones. That's it. Okay. Because we need to get to that sweet, sweet level 7. I think that's pretty well it. I don't think anyone else has much to talk about.
Somehow, it...
And... Curl, we don't need to talk to. We don't need to talk to Alan or any of them yet, I don't think. Maybe we can talk to Lan. And that's it for Lan. Okay. And just gonna check one more thing over here. I do want to get another 75,000 gold eventually, so we can buy the Black Dragon Fang sword. It's really, really good. It's kind of an important one. Oh, we have to do this. Happy to help. Blah, blah, blah. Do you do that? What's the special? The ruins. She has a quest for us. She wants to do the ruins near Canabras. Okay. Just gonna do this. How'd you become a scientist? Circle? Well, you already know what happens to her. If you've been following the previous playthrough, you know exactly what this is all about. But if you don't, then we'll get to it later. We'll do a more in-depth look at Nenio as her storyline progresses. Basically, she wants to explore some ruins because she's heard that they have a secret. And they do. They definitely do. It'll be an almost game-spanning secret, though, so we have lots of time to go through all of it. I think that's pretty well everything we need to do in the camp. Let's take a quick look at our quest. We've done Trapped in Darkness. Actually, we should probably just get rid of completed quest. We have Wardstone Legacy, which is do Kaylessa's thing and go to Chili Creek, which is an interesting place. We have to go to put up the banner eventually. The Dragon's Fate. We have to find out stuff about Trendolev. We'll do that when we get to Leper's... can't remember what it's called. Leper's Smile, Leper, whatever it is. The Leper place. We have to go to the Nameless Ruins. This quest will be in our log forever, basically. This quest is Alan's to get his ring back. This is the Heaven's Edge one. This is Soziel's quest that we just picked up. We have Opening. We have to capture and eliminate cultists that are retreating in the direction of Dresden. And we have to find a lost relic. Huh, okay. And then notes for the storyteller. We did. Oh, the story. He's not here, right? He is gone for the moment. I think. Yeah, I'm almost certain he's gone for the moment. I think he's still back in Canabris, technically. I'm gonna jump. I know this video is a long video. For like 40 minutes or something like that. That's okay. We're gonna grab. This is our group. They've all got wisdom damage. We'll probably end up coming back into the camp to rest, but that's fine. Actually, I think we have some lesser restorations. Maybe we don't. Did we not take that yet? It's possible we don't have lesser restoration. Anywho, the important thing I wanted to do was to grab our armies. This is the army we bought for 7,000 gold. Move it up to here. Jam them together. Can we hire any troops? Yes, actually we can. That is literally all our money. Okay, well... I want to try and reach this army. I don't know if we can reach it this turn, though. And we also don't have a... We're going to have to spend some money to get a general, aren't we? We sure are. Do we get a free one? No, we don't. Okay, well. Moment of truth. We need 500... Oh, that's half of our current money. I'm just going to buy exactly 500 because we're very poor. Alright, so we're going to go to our army here. Hit the I button. Assign a general. Recruit a new general. Let's look at our general choices. Not particularly good. Next one. He's a pretty good general. Not the one I want, though. This is the one I want right here. She's really, really good. She's probably the best one in the game, I would say. Except maybe the Swarm one. He's also pretty great. Alright, let's get this party started. We have 31 movement to get to this army. And I think we can do it. Oh yeah, easy. This is one of the quest ones anyways. There's 20 cultists, that's it? I don't think we even need to bother with using magic, honestly. Can't reach. Can't reach. Just shoot them. And we just go in and finish them off. We have 260 soldiers. That's a pretty decent amount. A whole 20 enemies. Oof. Tough fight. Found 600 finance points, having defeated a band of cultists who had driven the captives from Canavris and made the ruins of Valus's gift their temporary base. The commander's army celebrates its first triumph. Unfortunately, the demon worshippers have killed all the citizens and gathered their belongings in a huge pile in the middle of the camp, which is where we got the items from. Can we make another fight? We can. Look at that. It's always good to try and get some of these out of the way. This is a slightly larger force. We're not going to shoot the Murack, obviously, because we're not going to be able to do any damage to it. We're actually going to use magic here, too. That was okay. The Muracks are dead. I don't think we really need to worry too much about... they can move to there next turn, so we'll move up as well. They can't move into range of us, so we'll move up there. Okay. Who do we want to shoot? The cultists. How did they not die? Oh no, we're too far. Just wait. We can still get into range. Soldiers going in. Shoot the fighters. Oh, they didn't die. Our clerics are taking the hits. Fight's over. We win. Unfortunately, we can't recruit any new clerics unless they're mercenaries, which are very expensive. We got some more finance points. Actually, let's take a look at... Oh, we have no mercenary squads yet. Okay. What do you mean recruiter? We already recruited archers. technically we only have 6 footmen left to recruit. Alright, that's going to be the end of our video. We have gone far enough. We're going to rest. Actually, we're going to walk up to our camp, then rest. We'll go to the cemetery and the Houndheart camp next video. We'll probably do both of them. It's not going to be super hard, I don't think. For now, though, I'll leave you here. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Others, I'll see you next time. Take care.